On Wiki Travel, the Pacific Northwest is best known for its beautiful coastline, green interior, rainy weather, and spectacular mountains. But because of all this, it's also the perfect place to go missing. My name's Carmita, and I grew up in the Pacific Northwest in Portland, Oregon. I host a podcast called Missing in the PNW. My podcast is different from others you may have heard because I focus specifically on two things. The first is that all of the missing person cases that I cover are strictly from the Pacific Northwest in Oregon and Washington. I know, the title of my podcast should have given that one away. The second thing is that my podcast focuses strictly on missing persons from marginalized communities, such as the Black, Hispanic, Native American and Indigenous people, and the LGBTQ plus communities. You know, the ones that get absolutely no media attention. Now, I am not an investigative journalist or a reporter. I'm actually a widowed mom of 3 who loves true crime and has a passion for social justice. So join me in helping to spread the word on these missing person cases and help be the voice for the ones that are now voiceless. You can find Missing in the PNW on all of the major streaming apps, as well as on socials at Missing in the PNW podcast. If you have a case you want me to cover, please email me at missinginthepnw@gmail.com or send me a message through Facebook Messenger. I hope to talk to you soon. And remember, have fun, but be safe.
Darkcast Network. Out of the shadows come the best indie podcasts.
Oh my gosh, did you hear that?
Now then, witches and beautiful souls. I hope you are all well out there in podcast land. As you can probably hear, I am suffering from the podcaster's nightmare, which is the dreaded half-term cold cough. So this intro will be very short. I think I overdid it last week. Well, probably for the last 6 weeks, because it's been birthdays and festivals and podcast shows and free bars. I had an absolute whale of a time, but I've done a lot. And I do feel quite burnt out. As it is that season for the witch, it is the busy months when September rolls round. And I'm quite proud of myself for getting some pagan-related activities into my school's yearly calendar in the form of a set of Halloween discos near the end of half term. Any excuse to dress up, I will take it. It was so good to see all the little kids dressed up in their fantastic, quite scary outfits. Fantastic. We had minions, witches, lots of Spider-Men, ghosties, superheroes, quite a lot of K-pop demons, zombie punks and zombie dead footballers. Well, of course they'll be dead, the zombies. However, 4 discos, one after the other, for a whole day were a bit intense for me and my fellow treasurer. Hey, why didn't the skeleton go to the disco? Because he had nobody to go with. Right, that's enough of that. As it is Samhain and Halloween, I had this great idea to bring the next episode forward by just a few days to celebrate the turning of that wheel. Here we have a very special and unusual episode with myself and a lovely lass called Shannon Palmer of West Yorkshire, hailing from Bradford. Sounds more Yorkshire than I, maybe. And is a lovely, right, chatty lass who has been telling me all kinds of spooky stories throughout the days and the weeks. And so we thought it might be quite fun to give you a special spooky episode about all these amazing things that happen to Shannon on a regular basis, monthly basis. She has so many experiences of hauntings and possible spectres in her vision. Absolutely amazing, incredible to hear. And so I thought I'd put together an episode especially for the spooky season when the veil is thin. Be warned, she is the most haunted person I've ever spoken to. And some of the tales in which she regales are pretty unnerving. So snuggle down underneath that duvet and let's begin. Welcome to a spooky, special, super duper edition of the Bell Witch podcast. And this episode is going to be the most West Yorkshire episode. May I welcome Shannon of the Yorkshire blogger, foodie, journalist, and presenter of the award-winning variety.
Hey up, loves.
Hey up, loves. How are
Hey.
you?
Not too bad. How are you? Have you seen weather this morning? It's like twilight out there.
It's shocking.
I do like it though. I love this time of year.
Summer's good, but I like the autumnals.
Of course, the colours and the spookiness. Happy days. It's Halloween next week.
Well, today, hopefully, Halloween
today.
when it
Happy
comes
Halloween.
out.
Happy Halloween.
Future self. Tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So, as you know, I'm Shannon. I was born in Bradford, but now I live in Halifax. Well, Shelf, I should say, literally on the boundary line. By day, I'm an end-of-life dementia worker. So I've been doing that for the last 9 years. So that keeps me grounded. And then about 5 years ago, I just started a little blog and it kind of blew up through COVID. So I lost 5 stone, but I probably put 5 stone back on, I'm not going to lie. But it is what it is when you've seen the stuff that I've seen. Obviously, I do a lot with the BBC now. I'm an award-winning blogger. I do a lot with the PSOL, an ambassador for Halifax, theatre reviewer. I write about all walks of life in Yorkshire. As you can tell, I'm very Yorkshire. What else do I do? I do that many stuff, I forgot. I've got my own magazine column. I write for Yorkshire Post, Halifax Courier. A bit of everything, really.
Amazing. Well impressed. I didn't realise you'd got into it so recently.
Yeah, I've only been doing it about 5 years. And like I say, it kind of exploded. I mean, little old me. I like to be in bed for 9 o'clock. Everyone thinks I'm a socialite. I'm like, look, love, I'm in bed for 9 o'clock reading a book.
It's well good. It's well good. It's just Yorkshire people are just the best. I'm just going to say that.
Oh, thank you.
And you're quite a spooky lass as well.
Oh, I love it. I don't kind of tap into it, but I'm aware of stuff happening. I've seen things, I've heard things. But yeah, I don't, like I've told you, I don't really like to tap into it. It kind of scares me. I mean, I'm not scared, but I am scared because what you can't see and you can only hear sometimes, it kind of scares you thinking, oh my God.
You're not a witch yet.
No, I'd like to think I am. I like to think I'm Stevie Nicks prancing around the bloody living room, but I'm not a witch yet.
There's time. It's going to happen.
I mean, next week, today, should I say, Halloween. I'm going to get on the roof. Hopefully it don't cave in. I'm going to jump off.
Like practical magic.
Of course. It's fabulous, yeah. I'm manifesting it.
Fabulous. So today you've come on to tell us some ghost stories as it is the season.
Of course, I'm excited. I mean, quite a few stuff has happened to me. I don't know if it's generational because the same's happened to my nan and my mum. My sister she's not involved in all that kind of thing. But I didn't ask for it to happen to me. It just happens.
They're just like you, these ghosties. They're just like you.
I don't know why. Must be the accent. I'm surprised the accent doesn't scare them off.
So go on then, dive in with a story.
Oh, well, I grew up in West Bowling and we live, Bollinall. I'm sure you've all heard of Bollinall in Bradford. We live on the grounds of Bollinall. I don't know if it stems back to any of this, but I remember when I was little, I was laid in my bed in a little box room like you do, and I used to see all sorts. Like I woke up one night and there was a guy hanging from the bedroom beam, and I'm not thinking, oh my God, what's this? I got moved to the bigger bedroom and I used to see all sorts. Mum said that she'd come upstairs one evening, like my dad had gone to play snooker down at pub, and there was just me and my mum in the house, and I must have been about 4 or 5. And I was sat in the bedroom in the middle of the floor talking to somebody. My mum's like, Shannon, what you doing? Who are you talking to? She goes, I'm my nan's here. So what nan? She's round next door, but one where she lived. I'm like, no, not my nan, your nan. So obviously her nan had passed away and I was in the middle of the floor talking to her. I don't remember it, but I feel like she must have come quite a lot. Then I've seen my uncle who passed away, my uncle Ernie. But my mum used to see him and my cousin and my auntie. I don't know if it's a family thing, like I say. But yeah, like I remember, this is a good story as well. I remember because I live right next door to West Bowling Cemetery. That's where I grew up. And I was walking down the cemetery one day, coming back from Asda, like you do. And I looked up at one of the houses at the side of the cemetery. For as long as I know, a young couple lived there with a family. But there were an old man stood at the window, looking out of the window. So I'm thinking, who's he? So I'm walking, but as I say, his head followed what I were doing, like walking past. So I'm like, eh? So I've got home and said to my mum, and mum's like, no, it's always been young people there, Shannon. So my Auntie Edna, who lived just down the road, who recently passed away, actually. I said to her, Auntie Edna, I said, who's that old bloke in that window? And she goes, oh, he lived there before the family who live there now, but he passed away in the house.
Oh.
So obviously, like, wow. Like I said, I saw quite a few stuff, like, when I was a child. I don't know if that's when it started happening. But I grew up next to the cemetery as well. So instead of watching Coronation Street, I used to watch funerals from my back window.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, like I say, it scared me though. I remember like vividly when I was younger because I was that scared because I did used to see and hear stuff. I used to hide under my covers. I used to hate when my mum used to say, "You've got to go to bed now. You've got school in the morning." And I'm like, "I don't want to go to bed." You know
Because
what
you're
I mean? But
scared.
even like
Yeah.
thinking about it now, my nan passed away. My nan Margaret passed away when I was about 7. Then my granddad passed away a year later. Then about 12 years ago now, my uncle passed away. But they come to you in dreams, I do believe. And they do come to me quite a lot when I'm anxious, when there's a milestone that's going to happen. But my uncle does come to me quite a lot. I'm not seeing my nan and granddad much, but like I say, my uncle Colin, he comes to me quite a lot. But I do believe it is him, and I have seen him. He's been stood at my bedroom door, and you can't tell me that's not real because I've had conversations with him.
When you see them, then how do you see them? You're like, what do they look
Like they
like?
don't look like when they're like they don't look old. Like my nan looked really well, my granddad looked really well, and my uncle Colin looked really well because before he died, he looked really ill, obviously, because he had leukemia. It just looks normal. He looks well. You know, it looks almost like a white aura around him.
And are they solid?
No, they're a bit fuzzy. Like
Bit
they're not
fuzzy.
solid, but you know it's them. And obviously they're speaking to you. I told you, last week. I remember one time about 7 years ago. I'd had a massive argument with my partner. I slept in the little boy's bed, and obviously he's gone to work, so I've come to get back in my own bed. And I got into bed, and it was one of them like autumn mornings where it gets dark quite late. So it must have been about 5 o'clock. And I remember I laid on my back, and I was like, like when you're asleep, but you're not asleep, so in between. My body was over. My body laid in the bed. So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm trying to scream. I'm like, oh my God, help, help, trying to thrash out, trying to do something to like make myself come around. And nothing were happening. But my uncle Colin was stood at the door. He's like, Shannon, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Just go back to sleep. And I remember I must have gone back to sleep. I was so scared. And I woke up and I'm like, did that actually happen? But I remember like it was so scary. It's like nothing had happened. Nothing was coming out of my mouth. My body literally wouldn't move. I was like stuck.
So you were floating above it.
Yes, I was above my body, looking at my body in the bed.
So
And I
you
think,
so you're
wow.
face down looking at it.
Yeah, so I'm like, so I'm laid in my bed on my back, and then I'm above me looking down, but I'm trying to scream and nothing was happening. I'm thinking, oh my God, what's wrong?
Oh
Am I
my
dying?
word.
My uncle come for me.
Oh God.
But yeah, that's what I mean. I say I don't really want to tap into it because I'm scared because it's the unknown, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's ways around it. Like you can protect
Yeah,
yourself. As a
yeah,
witch, I believe in casting circles and asking for protection and carrying certain
yeah.
gemstones and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And then another good, well, I think it's his house. It's a magnet, really. I've told you about the haunted house next door. Down the little snicket from my house is a haunted house there, and it's never been able to be refurbished or redone up. But they're doing it as we speak. They're making it into a restaurant. So watch this space. I don't know what's going to happen there. They've been going 2 weeks. So I don't know if they'll go any longer. Another story, actually, in this house. When I first moved in about 9 years ago, I heard like banging. My partner had gone to work because he works early, and they were like banging downstairs. And the Xbox turned on. And I'm thinking, eh? Right, so obviously I've gone back to sleep, thought nothing of it, am I dreaming? Right, then there were an old man at the bedroom door again, like an old man. Like trying to talk to me, and I'm like, no, leave me alone. So I went back to sleep. I bet I sound cuckoo, don't I? Like, what you on about, Shannon? Seeing these people at your door. Did it
I
like a
love it.
portal. And he said, I'm Stephen. And I said, I don't know who you are, Stephen. I've never seen you in my life. So lo and behold, you forget about it. But a couple of days later, in my garden, pottering about. And I said to Jean next door, I said, Jean, who's Stephen? She was like, what do you mean? I said, well, who's Stephen? Has he got a connection to the house? And she goes, oh, yeah, before you moved in, he died in the living room. Them roses in the front of your garden, his wife planted them for when he were, when he were in the living room getting nursed.
Oh.
So obviously Stephen has come to me. I'm like, wow. It didn't scare me. I mean, I said,
That's
please
good.
can you leave me alone now? I'm I don't like this.
Yeah, they're good like that.
Mhm.
They don't want to
But I
scare you.
feel like this stuff happens when like sad stuff's happening. Do you get what I mean? Like when I'm happy, I rarely see the spirits or the ghosts, if you must say. It's always like when
Mhm.
like I argued with my partner or someone's passed away in the family. I mean, I've even had
Mm.
my best friend. My best friend Paige passed away in COVID. Broke my heart. And I remember a couple of days after she died, it was summer's morning, and I remember I woke up crying, thinking, "What's that?" But Paige was sat at the bottom of my bed in like white clothing with an aura around her, and she's like, "Shannon, don't be sad. I'm okay now." But she looked young, like she comes in a form as like of his teenage years. So then obviously I was crying, but I'm like, okay. So then obviously it's like, wow, as if she'd just been to see me. But I've spoke to her mum and she'd gone to see her mum as well. If you do believe in that kind of thing.
Why do you think they come when you're sad? I mean, I've not heard anybody say that before, so it's quite an interesting
I don't know. It's
conversation.
always like when, like I say, like sad, when there's been a passing in the family or something sad's happening in the family. Or maybe
Yeah.
anxious or like an anniversary coming up. I mean, it didn't all stem from like one time, but not usually it's when I'm sad. But I don't know. Well, I'll have to Google it. I've
Yeah,
never really
no,
thought
me
of it.
too. No. I've heard that you get more when it rains, like ghost hunters tell me the weather affects sightings quite a lot, and when there's heavy rain or thunderstorms,
Really? Well, it's
they
like
get
twilight
more,
out there
yeah.
today. I wonder if someone stood at my door listening to this conversation. Hello, is anybody here? Turn the telly on.
How often would you say you see ghosts then? Would you say like a monthly?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like I had this conversation with my mum the other day because my mum's very like spiritually gifted as well, and she gets it quite a lot in her dreams or in passing. It's really weird, but how do you know the ghost? You could be walking past somebody in the street, and it's like, are you real or
Yeah,
are you a
yeah.
ghost? You wouldn't know, would you?
You're like the most haunted blogger of West Yorkshire.
Oh my god, I haven't told anybody about this.
Amazing.
It could be a call, and it could be the ghost working in my favour.
I think your other job has a lot to do with it, on near deaths
Yeah,
with people
yeah.
who die.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've never really seen anything in that kind of sense. Obviously, I won't broach too much into it with like, because obviously it's my job and obviously it's that kind of thing. But yeah, when you're in rooms and stuff and people are getting ready to pass you, obviously can feel things. It's really weird. I can't explain it to you. But I've never kind of seen anything at work. I don't know if it's because I'm actually at work. But when I've been to spiritualists before, people I've looked after, they've actually come through thanking me for what I've done for him.
Oh, that's
That's
lovely.
quite nice. So I don't know if it does. It can't stem from that because I've only been doing that job for about 9 years. This has been going on a lot longer.
Only, she says. Maybe you
Oh,
got the job because you've been seeing ghosts all
who
your
knows?
life.
Who knows? Who knows?
Connection there. But I mean, to be with somebody as they die
Yeah,
is a big honourable moment. I mean, I was with my mum
yeah,
when she died, and
yeah.
it's
See, that
massive, isn't
that
it?
breaks my heart. That I can't even think about that because I've got quite a close knit family. Like I've got my mum
Yeah.
and my dad, and my two aunties never got married, so they brought me and my sister Kelsey up like their own, and live next door to my mum and dad. But it's like I can't even think about it. When that time comes, I don't think I'd want to like. You can't say that though, can you? It's like I don't think I'd want to. Well, I would have to sit with them because they're my family and I do love them. But it's that kind of. I don't want to remember them like that. I want to remember them, the good times and the memories. But I suppose it is an honour being there with him in the last hours, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And I could feel a go, like I felt a soul pass
Yeah,
through me. It was
yeah.
really, really, I don't know, like spectacular for want of a better word. It was huge. I mean, it's life and death, and what's bigger than that? There's nothing.
Speaking of like life and death, like I've kind of been thinking about this over the last couple of weeks. You mean my friend Kelly has a podcast and everything. I've told you about her, Bradford History and Hauntings, and I do speak to her quite frankly about it. And I feel like almost death, you're just in the room next door. It's like almost in a parallel universe. Thinking about it, are we in their space? Like when ghosts come to see us, could they be in a parallel universe, but we're in their space? Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say? It is scary, but it's not scary. It's like death. Is it actually that scary? But I suppose we won't know till we get there.
And I'm not wishing to know right now.
No,
I'm
not
having a
right now,
good
not right
time.
now.
Just saying universe, just
But I,
saying.
I don't know, it kind of almost feels not relief, I can't say that. Must I say that kind of you know what I mean? You must know what I'm saying. When you like pass away,
Yeah,
obviously it's scary thinking about it. But then I suppose in my head you see all your family again,
yeah.
and you're reunited. So it's kind of like, ooh, you know what I mean? Not that I want to pass away.
No, I know. We just keep having to put that disclaimer on, don't we?
It is scary, yeah, thinking about it now, me and you like sat here, but then I think to myself, is it actually that scary?
The unknown is scary, isn't it?
That's it, it's the unknown, isn't it?
Hi guys, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Lisa.
And we are the hosts of The Book of the Dead, a true crime podcast based out of New Jersey, where we tell you about the most obscure cases that you may have never heard of. So join us in the Book of the Dead library for another chapter of the Book of the Dead wherever you get your podcasts. Bye guys.
I went to see Uncanny in Bradford and Halifax.
Yeah.
It was so good. And there's a moment when Danny asks for stories from the audience. Last time I went, I was lucky enough to tell them my story, but this time I didn't get chosen, which is not a big deal because the stories that were shared were really powerful. And this one sticks in my mind where there was about 30 years ago, there was a guy who had band practice, like a brass band.
Yeah.
And as he were leaving, his house phone rang, so he picked it up and it was his band friend saying, I can't make it to band practice because my car is giving me jip sort of thing. And he went, no worries, I'll tell him when I get there.
Yeah.
So he drove to the band practice and walked in and didn't read the room. The room was sad. And he jokingly went, so-and-so rang me and said he can't make it because he's got car problems. He probably will crash if he came out, ha, ha, ha. And everybody looked at him and were like, he's died in a crash.
What?
I know, but he died at 4:15 in the afternoon and he got the phone call at like 4:00 or something, as the crash happened.
Oh my God, I've got
So
goosebumps.
I know, and everybody in the theatre were just like, oh, the way he was saying it, he were like, it's impossible, I don't believe it, but it did happen and I did receive this call and he did die. And it's not like you're my best friend or it was just a guy I knew. Probably didn't have a number. Why did he pick me?
Yeah.
And he got quite emotional. You could hear his voice cracking a bit, being like, but it's impossible. I can't believe it happened.
Mental. Speaking of that kind of concept, the same thing kind of happened to me. My granddad was in hospital. He was on end of life, but everything was stable. And I remember I'm from a massive Irish family, so you hear about these stories, like supernatural and paranormal. I was in my bedroom. My mum was at home, and my aunt Michelle was at home as well. But we were all on the phone talking. So to get to my back door, which is the entrance into my house, you've got to go past the ring doorbell in the garden. So I get notified that somebody were there. Obviously, it was on because my partner's fishing. I'm at home on my own. And I remember there was a knock on my back door, there was a knock on my mum's door, and there was a knock on my Auntie Michelle's door. And we're all like, hey, well, what's that? And lo and behold, nobody was at the door.
All three got the knock at the same time?
At the same time, yeah. And is that not really weird? But they say before someone passed, and the day after my granddad passed away, but they say in Irish folklore that the banshee comes to let you know that someone's going to pass away.
Oh my God.
So we all got that knock on the door, but nobody was there.
I just imagine the call, like, was that on your end or was that my end? Was that your end? Oh, it's my end as well.
Like, is anybody there? But I'm thinking, well, nobody's gone past the ring doorbell. Who is it? I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm on my own. Who is it? But then my granddad, he plays quite a lot of tricks on me, actually. He's passed away. I loved my granddad. We always used to sing on the karaoke, and we always used to sing The Mavericks Just Want to Dance the Night Away. So I remember he passed away at like 10 o'clock in the morning. Got a phone call at work. My dad on the phone, so blazing. He's like, Shannon, your granddad's died. Bye. So I'm like, because my dad's like, he's like a dad. He's like, oh my God. I've gone to see him in the hospital, had a drink around his body like you do in Irish tradition. I've come home with obviously heartbroken. My granddad's passed away. And I had my Alexa plugged in. The 3 o'clock in the morning, the song that me and my granddad used to sing together started playing on the Alexa at 3 o'clock in the morning. And this is not the first time it's happened since he's passed away. It's happened quite a lot. But like I say, it's even when I'm sad, upset, or there's a milestone that's going to happen.
To let you know.
That not weird? Is that so? Now I unplug my Alexa on an evening because I'm thinking, don't be waking me up, Grandad. But he has been to me quite a lot in dreams and stuff.
Can you imagine if it came on now?
Oh, don't say that. Oh no, Grandad, are you here? When he comes to see me or I've seen him, he's young. He's not my granddad before he passed away. It's like, say, 20 years ago when he was like in his 60s maybe, and he looked really, really young. It's really weird that, don't you think? But speaking of the Alexa thing as well, I wrote for the Yorkshire Blogger for the second year about 3 years ago now. And I remember I was so anxious. I was like, oh my God, so it must have been this time of year. And the songs that we used to sing on the karaoke, like the Platters and Save the Last Dance for Me, they started playing randomly on the Alexa. So I'm thinking my granddad, it must be here.
Like, chill out, Shannon, you're going to win.
But yeah, I can imagine a little Irish accent saying, come on now, Shannon, pack it in.
Fabulous. So recently, you have been visiting a haunted house.
Of course, yeah.
Oh,
I won't give too much away, but I'll tell you the story. So it's of a very famous person, but I can't tell you his name, obviously. And he's got a house, but I won't tell you the location. I
yeah.
remember one evening I'd gone up to the house but he'd gone away to play a gig somewhere, and the hotel had been locked down because there were a wedding in the hotel. So lo and behold, I'm thinking, okay, so obviously the manager of the hotel, her daughter was there with her boyfriend and the dog. So I remember there were nobody in the house. The hotel had been closed down. They'd gone away. So the daughter and her partner were in the garden with the dog, and it's a massive place. To get to where I was staying in this bedroom, it takes about 10 minutes to get there. And I remember I was just like looking out of the alcove of the window, just, relaxing, maybe falling asleep kind of. And there were a knock on the door, and I'm like, hang on a minute, I won't be long, thinking it might have been the daughter. I'm being very strategic here, so I don't give no names away. But I didn't think not of it. But then the daughter messaged me saying, no, Shannon, we're in the garden waiting to order some food. Well, who was that then? But I didn't really think about it, you know what I mean? So I've gone down and we're in the garden. Must have been about 8 o'clock, so summer's evening, so it wasn't getting dark, but it wasn't light. And like this old couple were walking up the lane, but there's nowhere to go. You've got to come to the house, but there's nowhere else to go. You've got to walk back down the lane. So I remember the guy who was with us, he said, are you okay? Do you need directions? But the people were looking at us like, we were stupid, like, but they were in like weird clothing, like something you wouldn't normally see. But we all could see him. And they kept shrugging. But then like the man just looked at us like icy stare and walked back down. But they never walked down the lane. So where did they go? We never saw them go back down the lane. So, there's only fields around there and there's miles and miles of fields. So then in the evening, we'd gone in, like I said, it was summer's evening, so we had the dogs, but the dogs were barking at the wall, like, why are they barking at the wall? So I'm like, oh my God, they would just want to settle these dogs. So obviously, I'm like, come on now, let's go to bed, it's midnight. So we all locked up and went to bed. I remember it must have been about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I watched Naked Attraction in bed, actually. Scared to go to
Bunny
sleep.
boiler.
I didn't go to sleep, but I didn't open window as well, because like, what if somebody gets in the window? So I was sweating in bed, under covers, like when I was younger, scared. Come on now, Shan. But then there was like bang on my door, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what's that? So I'm wide awake now. So I've gone to the door, open the door, but the door's like kind of opened itself, and I'm thinking, oh my God. I said, are you messing about up there? The daughter. And she's like, no response. And there was nobody there. But obviously, the door's opened, and there's a bloody vision of a woman there with like grey hair, and she like looking at me, smirking. So I'm like, oh my
My
God.
oh,
So I've looked again, but the stairs at the side of the room started like da 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 da, and then the door upstairs has swung open to where the daughter was. So she's screaming. She's like, ah! So she stood at top of the stairs, and I'm stood at the bottom. So I stood in the middle of this corridor. I said, if there's anybody here, if you're gonna do anything, bloody do it now. So I'm thinking, oh my God, oh my God. Something's like wished past me. So obviously I've gone back in my bedroom and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. So obviously I didn't get back to sleep, but then it must have been about 4 o'clock, so it was getting light then. And I'm thinking I can go to sleep now. But lo and behold, I went home the same day. I thought I can't stay here any longer. When I've tried to ask about, the paranormal and, that kind of thing, they've always kind of underplayed it. Because they're like, they don't want to scare you, do they? Because you're a guest there. But in the morning, one of the cleaners said to me, oh yeah, I heard what happened to you last night. Because I've seen her too. So apparently she's killed herself at the top of the stairs where she showed herself to me. And because there were a wedding in the hotel, haunted stuff always happens at the hotel when furniture gets moved. While the furniture being moved around for this wedding, obviously it's triggered something. So yeah, that were a bit of a spooky experience, and I was like, oh wow, it could only happen to me.
do you know anything about the history? Was there somebody who
Yeah,
died
well,
there?
I don't literally know the history, but I do know there's quite a few hauntings in the hotel. Like there's a butler, and I do believe, and at the top of the lane, which you can see from the house, there's like a cemetery, like a church and a cemetery. And I do believe the people who lived there back in the day were buried there.
Yeah.
But like my friend Kelly, the ghost hunter, always says, if the world wanted to hurt you, Shannon, they wouldn't be. You wouldn't be in that house. You wouldn't be there. They wouldn't let you stay there.
Yeah.
So there's never been no paranormal investigations done because they're quite private. So I'd like to see that happen, to be quite fair. So there must be some history, but I've Googled it, but I've not found anything. Only hearsay. But apparently
Yeah.
where the dogs are barking at the wall, a butler stands there and he waits for the family to come home, but they never do.
What's really unnerving about that story is the fact that they see like a grey lady, and then
Yeah.
you hear the steps like running
Yeah.
up, and
Oh.
then you hear your friend scream. That's really like, oh God.
But she tried telling me the story. She's like, Shannon, it is really haunted. And like her mum's like, pack it in. It's not. But like I remember we'd gone to like somewhere before we'd gone to the house, and there were these little old ladies trying to tell me, she goes, be careful tonight when you're in the house on your own. I'm like, oh my God.
You have to have a word when you're on your way. Be like, I don't know who's hearing this, but I'm asking for protection. Imagine a bright light around you, like a bubble and all that.
Oh wow, but yeah, I just think to myself, why do they come to me? Have I got like a thing saying, come to me, come on, I'll talk to you. I know I like to talk, but that's not living.
You must look like
But
a
like when we were talking last week, when you said, do you not feel open to like, being more involved in all this kind of thing? But like I say, it scares me. Like some aspects of it doesn't scare me, but then like when I'm on my own, I don't like it. You know what I mean? It's like my partner goes fishing quite a lot, so I'm in the house on my own. I always leave like the landing light on. And I remember sometimes I've woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and the light's turned itself off. You know what I mean? It's scary. That's why I unplugged the Alexa now.
saving electric for you.
God. I think Stephen's looking out for me.
It's funny, just last week I had something weird happen to me, because I was at the Independent Podcast
Yeah,
Awards.
of course, yeah.
So like I went out until midnight and I walked to my hostel, and you have to
Yeah.
creep in because you're sharing a room
Yeah.
with 4 other single travellers, and they were asleep. So I was the arsehole that walked in, a bit drunk at midnight. Got changed, got in bed, couldn't sleep because you can't, can you? Because there's
No,
people
you're
around you
excited,
don't
aren't
know.
you? Yeah, a new place.
Yeah. So like I was laid there on my right side facing the wall on the bottom bunk bed. And
Yeah.
I reckon it must have been, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 in the morning. I felt little hands like slide underneath my back
Oh,
as if they were trying to lift me. And I just
my
kind of, my
God.
eyes pinged open and I was like, what was that? I felt that. What was that? So weird. And people were like, moving around and coughing and stuff. So I wasn't scared and I wasn't on my own.
Yeah.
I was just a little bit like eyes like saucers, like, what was that? What was that?
Oh my God.
And then about an hour later, I was still in the same position, almost asleep, I think. And then I
Yeah.
felt a little body get in and spoon me on my back. And
Oh,
I really felt it, like I felt the bed move and I felt
yeah.
a little body wrap around me. And I was a bit like, no, I definitely felt that. What is that? Come on, please, Dawn, hurry up.
What I find it's always when you're like not asleep but you're not awake. It's always the in between, isn't it? When this stuff happens.
It's a thing, innit? Where, what's it called now? Where you're awake, but you're not. There's a sleep paralysis. That's it.
Yeah, well, like I say, my body were over my body. I just hope that never happens again in my life.
I think there's scientific studies which connect that a lot to parapsychology and like seeing
Yeah.
ghosts, because it's like dream state and awake state kind of mesh
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And your brain looks for stuff it can recognize, which will be a figure, which your brain will be like, oh my God, it's a ghost. I didn't see anything though. I felt it. I really
Yeah.
felt it.
I do feel stuff quite a lot, like going back to work. Like I've never seen anything at work, but you feel it, don't you? You almost know. Like corner of your eye, you see somebody walk past, but I'm like, there's nobody there.
Yeah.
People watching you, and like these feelings, like things whooshing past you.
I don't even think it was a ghost. I think it were my little girl dreaming about me, and she came over.
Isn't that beautiful, though?
Yeah, and it
Beautiful.
felt like a hug, so I was a bit like, I'm pretty sure that's Clementine dreaming about me. So I thought about it all the way home on the train, and when I got home, I said to her, did you sleep well? And she went, yes, mummy. And I said, did you dream about me? And she went, oh, I always dream about you.
Oh,
And I was like, ah, ain't that cute?
but it's like stemming back to that. It's like deja vu and stuff. Have you read that where you've thought about somebody you haven't seen in a while, and you can be walking around Lidl, and you look up and they're there? I'm like, eh.
The ringing or the texture or
Yeah, it's really weird, isn't it?
so that's definitely a
I
witch
mean,
thing.
there's definitely got to be something there, aren't there? I absolutely love full moons as well. I love full moons. I'm invested in the full moon situation now, and the moon cycles and my crystals.
Do they affect you, the moons?
Full moons affect me. I can't sleep. It's really weird. But I always leave my bedroom window open because I like to feel, like the full moonlight shining down on it. But I feel like that must symbolise something.
Yeah.
The full moonlight shining down on you. Might give me some power. I don't know.
Feminine energy, isn't it? Related to femininity and goddesses and water, which is emotion. And
That's only kind of happened in the last couple of years where I've become like interested in like the moon and like crystals and stuff. But I do feel like manifestation does work. Like on a full moon, I always like set out my intentions, and lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, stuff has happened. I'm thinking, well, I thought about that on a full moon, and now it's actually happened. It's like in the blogging world, I've like wished for stuff to happen to me, and a couple of months down the line, it's happened to me. I mean, I know you make your own luck in life, but I don't know if that's like the forces helping me align. I don't know.
you know what you sound like? A witch!
Who knows? It could happen.
But I think if you took up being a medium, You'd be amazing at it with all this
No, but it just
experience.
scares me, you know what I mean? Ugh, just thinking about it, it's like, oh my gosh.
Just need a toolbox of things that'll help you stay safe
I
and
don't no sleep. I don't
boundaried.
get no sleep now, and I won't be getting no sleep then when people are coming to me. Can you just tell me more, Matt? I miss them. Who are you, love?
Yeah, like on Ghost, like, you're a
I'll leave you
danger
alone now.
girl. Whoopi Goldberg.
I can be like the Yorkshire blogger, paranormal investigator. I don't know.
Oh my God, it would be amazing. You'd be so good. It'd be brilliant.
In the
I could,
Yorkshire accent, hey up, loves. I could have my own show.
we could team up. I could bring my spirit board and some pendulums and get it
Oh,
done.
let's do it. Why not?
It'd be
Sign up for
great.
something else.
You know, in Bradford, there's that haunted place on the dual carriageway just outside the city. I can't remember what it's called. An old building.
Well, I've never heard of that, and I'm from Bradford.
You'll have seen it. It's on the way to Shipley. You know, if you come out of Bradford as if you've, I don't know, parked at the Broadway and you turn left and there's like a ring road,
Oh,
isn't there?
yeah, I do know what you mean. The paper hall.
Is it the Paper Hall?
Yeah,
Gorgeous building.
it's meant to be one of the most hauntedest places in the UK, that isn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously, like I said, there's Bolin Hall as well. That's really haunted. And obviously, the Peace Hall. I've never delved into that kind of thing in Halifax, but I do believe that's mega haunted as well. I've never been to the Paper Hall, but my friend
No.
Kelly's been, and she said it's really active.
What's Kelly's podcast called?
Oh, I forgot now. I do know her Facebook page is Bradford History and Hauntings. I'm sure some of you listeners will know who she is. She's really
Yeah.
good at what she does, actually. In
We'll have
fact,
to
about a
plug.
month ago now, I did do a paranormal investigation with it at the Royal Oak in Halifax. And let me tell you, that were an eye opener. 3 o'clock in the morning looking for ghosts. And they actually did come through. It was really weird.
Go on then, tell us what happened.
So the Royal Oak in Halifax, I'm sure you'll have heard of the Royal Oak. It's like they used pieces of the ship from the HMS Newcastle. So obviously that within itself, you know, there's going to be some spirits like attached to it. Just looking at it, you can tell there's a vibe and it's really haunted. So I remember 3 o'clock in the morning, we're going around these rooms and we had like, you know, like the voice thing where they're speaking to it and they were speaking into it and we were picking names up, voices, obviously bad words, how they died. Went down into the cellar, that was the most active part, little children running about. Because back in the day, that's where the children used to stay in the servant quarters. But Paddy, the owner, he's down there quite a lot, you know, like doing the barrels and stuff. And he says, I always feel people down there with me. And they come through saying that we're with you when you're down there in this barrel store doing the barrels, we're there with you. They're like, don't be scared, we're keeping you company. But isn't that a lovely thought, really?
It is, yeah.
But then he was scared to start off. He was like, I don't feel so scared now.
No. I don't really get scared on ghost hunts. I think I've got quite high expectations. Everybody's freaking out that it's haunted and like there's lights flashing and stuff. And I'm really like, well, that could just be, you know, like a wave from electric, totally, you know, total EMF waves and stuff. Like
that's it, yeah.
Anything can affect, because I'm not right into the gadgets when I ghost hunt. I like traditional feelings, spirit boards and like.
Well, my friend Kelly's got a teddy. Have you seen the teddies? What flash when something touches it? And I mean, that's got to be, there's got to be something in that. Because how can a teddy be sat in front of the room and it starts flashing on its own?
Is that an EMF then?
I think so. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's like a little white teddy and it flashes like red and green. And I think
cat
that's
balls.
Really good.
Cat balls are good.
Cat balls as well, and they flashed at the Royal Oak actually. I'm thinking, oh god, and they were on the bar when they started flashing.
Quite good on stone
but
floors.
Like Kelly always tells me, she goes, if they were here to hurt you or they wanted to hurt you, you wouldn't be sat here right now. And I suppose you've got to look at that like, yeah, that must be true.
There's not much history of ghosts physically hurting people, I don't think. I mean, I do see stuff on YouTube and I do question it. And I saw recently Ghost Trip Investigation. Them guys were doing something and they left early because one of them got scratches on his back, but he couldn't feel the scratches. But it's on video, do you know, where it happens and he freaks out like, ah!
Oh my god!
But you can't see all. It just looks like he's freaking out.
You know,
and then
this is a bit of a funny story. You know, like speaking of like touching you and stuff. I remember when I lived at home when I was younger, my mum always used to get Take a Break, Fate and Fortune. You must have read that back in the day. And I remember me being like 10-year-old sneaking this magazine to bed with me. And I remember there was this story about a woman. She said every night a ghost used to come to have sex with her. And I'm thinking that can't be right. I'm thinking,
incubus.
Come on, come to me. I want to see what it feels like.
That's an incubus, isn't it?
I don't know, but I'm thinking, is that real? Me, 10-year-old, thinking, surely a ghost can't have sex with you.
Was that on This Morning?
I feel like it could have been on this morning, actually, yeah. But I remember reading it in Take a Break and thought to.
I don't know about that. You see, I can't quite get on board with that. I mean, that's ghost rape, innit? So,
That's what I mean. But she must have quite enjoyed it. I'm like, you're not going to get pregnant. But that'll be next time she got pregnant by a ghost.
oh
Bloody
my
hell.
God.
I mean, if
I
it looks
know.
like Patrick Swayze in Ghost, why not? Come on, fella, come and find me.
I heard there was somebody that got married to a ghost. That
Oh,
were a few
that's
years
a bit
ago.
weird. That's a bit weird. It's like a movie.
How could the ghost consent?
I don't even know what to say about that one. It might being in bed on your own at the middle of the night, if someone starts touching you, you'd be like, I'm out of here. You won't be staying, would you?
Do you feel temperature changes and stuff when you see
Yeah, like
them?
funny you should say. I'm sat here now and it's gone really cold. So somebody
Oh.
must be here who's listening. Don't come and see me though. I'm scared.
Knock twice for yes, once for no.
Someone will knock now and I'll be like, I'm out of here.
Can you imagine? I'd be buzzing if I got it on.
Whoever's listening, if you fancy a little spooky like visit, like, you need to go to Bolin Hall in Bradford. It's so active there. I love it.
I can't believe I've never been. I need to go.
Oh, I need to take it. I'm going to take it to Bolin Hall.
It'd be
That's
great.
that is for me. It's a lovely day out. You can go and look in Bolin Park and go to a little cafe at top the lodge. Beautiful there for food. I'm not going to lie. Then a little walk down to Bolin Hall. It's stunning this time of year. Even like cemeteries, I like going around cemeteries, mate, looking at gravestones.
Yeah, I quite like that.
Weird
Especially
though.
Undercliff in Bradford is
Oh,
beautiful.
I went on a school trip there actually to see Quake.
So gorgeous it is. It's massive, isn't it?
Even Bowen Cemetery, where like the side of where I grew up, it's really nice in there. And all them graves tell a tale, don't they?
Have you seen that YouTuber who in America and he cleans graves
Have you
and he's
seen that?
got a talking box
Yeah.
and he like has a conversation as he cleans the graves. I really like it. It's in the daytime. They'll say like, "Oh, thank you," and Mr. Bit and
Did you see one of the lady who cleans the graves? And then
no.
obviously all the shovels in the background of the video all fell down, but she was on her own. I mean, that's quite scary.
I might have to go out and start cleaning graves.
Well, how come we? Something to do, isn't it?
What has been your most recent scary then? Is it the haunted house?
No, like my partner went away fishing last week again. He leaves me, doesn't he, and just goes off fishing, and I'm on my own. But like I said, that's when the landing light turned itself off.
Oh yeah.
You know, and the weird stuff
Last
happens
one.
like that. And I'm very
Yeah.
aware. It's like sometimes my house goes really dark and like taps start running themselves upstairs. It's weird. How does that happen? You know?
Do you know any history of your actual house?
Not really. I know that it's the side of the beck. So I'm in Halifax, but the beck at the side of my house that leads to Bradford. I think back in the day, I think it was just like fields and stuff, you know, like I don't really know. But like I said, there's the haunted vicarage at the side. I don't know if that like is the grounds of the vicarage where I live now. I'm sure it's still got a tale to tell, haven't it? I think they only got built in like 1999, these houses.
Oh wow, that's really
Yeah, so like I say, Stephen died downstairs, but I didn't know Stephen. So yeah, I don't really know much more history of it. But my house, what I grew up in when I was a child, that were in the grounds of Bolin Hall, so obviously that'll all stem from that, won't it?
I think that's so cool that you grew up in like the grounds of a haunted museum with a,
I didn't like growing up
a
with it that
graveyard.
way. Awful. Even to this day, when I go to my mum and dad's house, I've got to run up the stairs and I feel like I've got to clench my fist. I feel like someone's like chasing me or watching me. It's really weird. It's just like a gut reaction to clenching my fist.
What are you going to do then going forward? Are we going to investigate?
Hide under my covers.
Because you're safe there.
Until they get pulled off me. I'd like to. Oh, do I want to? I mean, I know that I see stuff and I felt stuff and the stuff what I have seen, but then I think to myself, do I really want to get into it? Because I don't want to, I do get scared, like I've said.
I think you just need some boundary lessons and then we can get right in there.
Let's do it and see what we can do.
Oh, exciting.
I mean, if the world wants to predict the lottery numbers so I win on Saturday night, that'd be great.
don't work like that. Where can we find you?
So you can find me over at The Little Life of Shazza P on Instagram. I write for the Yorkshire Post and Halifax Courier. And I've also got a magazine column that comes out every month if you're in Bradford and Halifax. But other than that, you've heard about me now, so you'll get sick of hearing about me and you'll get sick of seeing me.
You'll be on the scroll now because the algorithm knows who you are. Right, well, thank you very much, Shannon, coming on and scaring us for this Halloween evening.
Oh, happy Halloween.
And stay spooky, everybody.
Don't turn the lights off tonight. The veil is thin. You don't know who could be at the end of your bed.
You have been listening to the Bell Witch podcast, created with love and magic by me, Swailes, the friendly green witch. I love to hear from you, and I absolutely love to celebrate you. If you have a podcast or a business, a witchy business, a pagan related topic you love to talk about, you can reach me on the Bell Witch Podcast at yahoo.com. Send me a trailer and I will absolutely play it, because there is magic in sharing audiences amongst podcasts. Music by Jeff Harvey of Pixabay. The official Bell Witch photographer is the lovely Beverly Thornton. Thank you so much for choosing the Bell Witch Podcast to fill your ears. Stay magical, witches.
I see you.
From the shadows of the coven to the lips of the living, VE Cosmetics conjures up a beauty so good, it must be witchcraft. Vegan and cruelty-free for those who walk between the worlds. VE Cosmetics. Grab a discount with my affiliate code BELLWITCH at the checkout. BELLWITCH, all one word, for a 10% discount on your entire order, and a little tip for this witch.